I guess I'll just start kind of from the beginning.
My name is Luis Enrique Ramirez.
It's been an experience, especially with my age, being 53.
I was not raised in a church. My father was in the military. I grew up as a child as a guest in other countries.
My family wasn't really a big church goers. We barely went to church, so I wasn't familiar with going to church growing up.
Even though I came here to the United States when I was 13 years old, I never felt that connection with my family, with my mother here. As you know, I came with a past life of being alone and single. I grew up with that mentality this whole time.
I had a problem with some of the standard churches when I started looking as a young adult, in that if you didn't accept Jesus Christ and get baptized right now, then you were going to die and go to hell. And I thought, well, wait a minute. There are so many other good people out there. That was in my 20s, and then I went several years without even being in a church. But I would consider a spiritual person. I was always seeking and open and feeling that there was more.
It was until I was 17 years old was when I started attending a Baptist church back at home. And from there is when I got to grow my relationship with the Lord, and I got to learn a lot from Jesus, from reading the Bible, especially the New Testament.
My mom passed in 2008. She had taught us a lot of things about church and about God. And a lot of things that she had taught us at an early age, I come to realize have been things that is from the church. Even though she never mentioned the church, it's definitely things that have come from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She had us study with Jehovah's Witnesses. I've studied with Muslims. I've studied with Catholics, Protestants, and Baptists. This church is more of a calm, peaceful, how can I say it? Calm and peaceful, but powerful.
It gets to a point where when you're in so much pain and so much struggle that you think that you can't make it, there comes God. And that's when he comes and open your eyes. And that's what happened to me whenever, almost 7-8 months ago, when I started coming over here. You wouldn't even see it in me right now, but almost a year ago, you could have seen me walking on the streets almost half naked, because I was out of my head. I wasn't paying attention to anything. But when I came here and I was praying to the Lord, that I knew I was gonna get out. I knew I was gonna do something about, to better myself. I knew I was gonna stay there alone.
So I had always been just kind of looking and still seeking. I had the opportunity in different working situations to work with other people that were members of the church. And the thing that always impressed me about them was their lovingness and their dedication to family, and they were just good people. There was something different. They were just good people. It just shined through them. I was fortunate enough to marry a man who had been raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I had mentioned to my husband at one point, I said, I wish I had a Book of Mormon so that I could just read it for myself. And so, I was kind of thumbing through that and looking at it. But what really started my journey in earnest was in the days of COVID. The missionaries would have to use a lot of social media to reach out to people. And they were putting out on some of the buy-sell trade pages, if you would like a free copy of the Bible, or if you would like a copy of the Book of Mormon. And I'm just looking and I'm thinking, these are good kids. Why don't we reach out to them and just offer to take them to lunch?
When I was 19, I moved to Edmond, Oklahoma to attend UCO for nursing. And my sister, Cameron, she's over here. This is Cameron. She joined the church. At the time, I was kind of working on my relationship with the Lord a lot, and I was really trying to fix my relationship with him. So that was my main priority, and I didn't think that the church would help me. I would only read the Book of Mormon to find faults in it, and it wasn't until I really had to be real and read it to see what I could actually gain from it was when I started to see its truth. And I started meeting with missionaries, and they really helped me a lot with I gained a lot more clarity from meeting with them. And it was really different from the first few times I had lessons, because the first few times nothing really clicked and it just didn't make sense and I didn't like it. But when I met with them again, things just clicked and it made sense. And I don't know how, but it did.
It's just amazing how the Lord has worked me from not knowing about this book and not knowing where I come from. So much blessings that you're going to receive. But if it wouldn't be for this gospel, the missionaries, this Book of Mormon here, I don't think I would be anything in life. I wouldn't never pay attention to the Lord as I am now.
I've had quite a few people that have asked me about my beliefs and what church I go to, and when I tell them, the first look on their faces, it's kind of look like, wow, you go to the Mormons? I'm like, well, I go to the church that Jesus established. When you realize that this is God's church, that God himself sent Jesus down, and that Jesus himself established this church, it makes it a lot more important to you. You want to do good because it's God. I mean, it's your Father. You want to be good so that your Father can be proud of you, and humble so that you're not being too proud of yourself no matter what you do. It's not a church for you to go to just sit around and on Sunday and praise, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do whatever you want to do. It's a church where you actually put in work, you put in service, you put in your heart, your soul. You want to start helping people. You want to start being that person that people look at and think to themselves, I want what that guy has.
I have a very firm testimony that the Book of Mormon is true. I have a very firm testimony that Joseph Smith was the first prophet. I believe what happened in that grove truly happened. I believe that the Father and the Son came and were visible to him. I believe that, and I can testify to that without any hesitation. The blessings that have come from this are absolutely amazing. Is my life a bed of roses? No one's life is a bed of roses, but I have a Savior now that I can speak with. I can say my prayers. I can go to the Father through whatever it is. I have someone that I can talk to.